Thank you, Madam Chair. I understand that today marks a significant milestone. It's the first time that a finance minister has appeared before the Standing Committee on the Status of Women, and obviously we think that's a long overdue activity because we recognize how important it is, the work that's done at this committee. We know that it makes a real difference in the lives of Canada's women and girls, and so I'd like to start by thanking all of the committee members for inviting me to be here to talk about our budget, to answer any questions that you might have. As I said when I introduced our budget in the House back at the end of February, our economy is doing quite well. Over the last 2 years, hardworking Canadians have created more than 600,000 new jobs, most of them full-time. Unemployment rates are among the lowest we've seen in more than 40 years. And if you compare Canada to its economic peers and other G7 nations, we're leading the pack when it comes to economic growth since 2016. So we find ourselves in an interesting position. Our strong economic fundamentals give us the opportunity to invest in the things that will keep our economy strong and growing. At the same time, we have an obligation to take a serious look at some of the deeper challenges that continue to hold back our people and our economy. And that's where this year's budget comes in. Malheureusement, des obstacles continuent d'empêcher plusieurs femmes.
Unfortunately, a number of barriers continue to prevent a number of women and girls from realizing their full potential in Canada as in elsewhere in the world. Our government is determined to overcome these barriers. Budget 2018 supports women and girls, reduces the wage gap between men and women, and increases the participation of women on the labour market.
Participation in the workforce in Canada is the highest among G7 countries, but it's still almost 10 percentage points below the rate for Canadian men, even though Canadian women are among the best educated in the world. The gender wage cap is also an issue in Canada, as it is in many other places. In 2017, for every dollar a male worker in Canada earned, a female worker earned 80 cents per hour worked. And because women tend to work fewer hours, the gap in annual earnings is even larger, with female workers earning only 69 cents for every dollar earned by a male worker. Canadian women are also underrepresented in positions of leadership and in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We also know that the demands of unpaid work, caring for children or for ill or elderly family members, disproportionately fall to women, making it difficult for them to pursue opportunities, including work. So these are some of the important challenges we face. And though we know we can't solve every problem, after all, these challenges are the result of long-standing and systemic discrimination. Budget 2018 does take some important steps toward providing greater equality for Canada's women and girls. From a structural perspective, it starts with the introduction of a new gender results framework. This whole-of-government tool helps define what needs to be done to achieve gender equality and tracks our progress against stated goals. As you know, Budget 2018 also marks the first time that no budget decision was taken without being informed by Gender-Based Analysis Plus, or GBA Plus. And to ensure that gender remains a key consideration for future governments, we'll also introduce new GBA Plus legislation to make gender budgeting a permanent part of the federal budget-making process. In terms of specific measures in Budget 2018, I'd like to highlight just a few for you today. Avec le budget de 2018, le gouvernement propose de légiférer le principe de salaire égal
wants to legislate the principle of equal pay for equal work in the federally regulated sectors. This will mean that, on average, men and women working in federally regulated industries will receive the same pay for equal work. This principle will apply to some 1.2 million wage earners.
We know that childcare duties and caregiving duties in general disproportionately fall to women. And so, in Budget 2018, we introduced a new use it or lose it employment insurance parental sharing benefit to encourage both parents and two-parent families to share equally in the work of raising their children. With this new benefit, two-parent families who agree to share parental leave could receive an additional 5 weeks of leave, or an additional 8 weeks for parents who choose the extended parental benefits option. This will make it easier for women to return to work sooner if they so choose. And it will also help to address some of the patterns of discrimination that many women experience in the hiring process. At the same time, it will give both parents an opportunity to spend time with young children, setting up patterns of more equal parenting that can last a lifetime. To help Canada's women-led businesses grow, find new customers, and hire more Canadians, Budget 2018 proposes to invest $1.65 billion in a new women entrepreneurship strategy. It also supports the advancement of women in their careers by publicly recognizing corporations that are committed to promoting women to senior management positions. And to make sure we're able to do this important work, Budget 2018 also proposes to make additional investments in status of women, and finally, to make status of women a full department in the Government of Canada. Le budget élargit la stratégie du Canada pour prévenir
Our budget broadens Canada's strategy to prevent and counter gender-based violence, increase support for crisis centres for victims of sexual assault on university and college campuses, and takes measures to engage men and boys in promoting gender equality. Madam Speaker, the government is also acting to promote gender equality worldwide. Budget 2018 will allow us to ensure that Canada welcomes more women and girls who are refugees, who are not only fleeing war and persecution, but who are also facing increased risk because of their sex. We want to ensure that all Canadians have a fair chance and opportunity to succeed. That is not only the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do.
Greater diversity in the workforce boosts productivity and profitability for Canadian businesses. And of course, the experts back us up on this. RBC Economics estimates that if Canada had a completely equal representation of women and men in our workforce, we could have increased the size of the economy by 4% last year. Similarly, McKinsey Global Institute estimates that by taking steps to advance greater equality for women, such as employing more women in technology and in boosting women's participation in the workforce, Canada could add $150 billion to its economy by 2026. That's the kind of long-term growth that would benefit not just women and girls, but all Canadians. It would mean more good, well-paying jobs, more money for all those Canadians who are working hard to pay their bills. Madam Chair, as Minister of Finance, I sit around a diverse cabinet table with as many women as men, and I can tell you that the diversity of voices and perspectives around that table makes for better government, better decisions, and better outcomes. Likewise, gender equality in our economy and our society will lead to greater prosperity. It'll benefit all Canadians, and Budget 2018 represents an important step toward that goal.